The very next lyrics were, "It's time we end this like we should and say we're good." And the feeling here was the collective soul just being done with reality as we've known it, which Spirit says is good because it no longer exists, right? We just talked about that. So it's time we end it and say we're good with this predator prey archetype that is actually dead, and it's not actually a grid that we're supplying from any longer. It's just habitual behavior that we're playing out because many of us are dual timeline souls. Many of us were born pre 2000, and we experienced one reality and then we experienced another reality and have had to learn to shift and integrate through this process. And one of the supportive energies that came through is syncing up with the earth's heartbeat. And here Spirit says that in the chaos of modern society, we experience great fluctuations within our mental field. Due to these distractions and distortions, we often forget the space within that offers this sanctuary. We're encouraged right now to let go of any ceaseless activity or busyness for busy's sake, because this is not going to allow room for those packets of information, those divine downloads that are available to us in August, so should we choose them. But if we're letting the mind run the show and we're in a constant state of go, 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 then we don't have that space to receive the wisdom that Spirit wishes to bring through. The soul needs endless spaciousness and restoration that comes from turning within ourselves. We're encouraged that it's time to connect to something greater, to that which lives outside of time and space. And we are experiencing ourselves sync up to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So once again, Spirit drawing our attention to this syncing to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And what does this bring to us? Well, it brings a love for life and a joy and an energy that inspires us to then move and create. If we are moving from screen to screen to screen and staying within, the box or our four walls, we are never going to have that love for life, that true zest that makes you feel the need to express yourself and to feel truly and fully alive here on planet Earth. We are letting go of the way of the mind. Spirit says, once again, it cannot navigate the way forward. So we just need to put it on the shelf, let it be the servant to the soul, and begin to trust those nudges. All we need is the next right action. We don't need 15 steps ahead. There's also this sense of what Spirit is calling exquisite sensitivity. Now, any of you out there experiencing exquisite sensitivity, you might have other words for it than Spirit. But truly, when we remember that being this sensitive, this transparent, it's collecting information. When we can view it as information, and when we can view ourselves from our aspected parts. So if we're having an inner child who is specifically reacting to this oversensitivity, we can then take on the parent consciousness and we can help ourselves move through this, knowing that it's just stimuli, it's just information, even when it feels to the physical body like complete overwhelm. Because this exquisite sensitivity is the superpower needed to sense the way forward. And the people who are allowing themselves to drop into this place will be the leaders of tomorrow, because we will have to feel our way through the dark. And this sounds scary to the mind, who always has things planned and has agendas, but to the soul, this feels like freedom and what it has been waiting for. We're encouraged that we will be moving past obstacles with ease and grace and responding to danger long before it alights upon our path. And anyone who's made bad decisions, who's had those decisions kind of boomerang very quickly, may feel like danger, danger, danger when opening to this part of ourselves. And yet Spirit says when we move into this exquisite sensitivity, we sense the danger and on a completely different path, so far away from it by the time it would come to us that it cannot even touch us. So to remember that feeling of terror is coming from the place of ego. And that's not to discount it. It's just to embrace it and to allow it its time. It's 90 seconds. And or however long it needs, and to give it space to move, to acknowledge it, but not to allow it to control us or navigate moving forward. We're benefiting immensely from the innate intelligence of the heart, and we're releasing the need to plan and strategize. Instead, we feel, we respond, sense, and intuit our way forward. walking the path of the heart, the middle way, and living closer to the earth and the source of life itself. Spirit reminds that this path is not for those lacking in courage, as we will be tested to our very limits. And we must learn to fully trust our own hearts, as that is all we will have at certain points in the journey. Drop into it. The mind is important, but cannot go where the heart is meant to lead. The mind must serve the truths of the heart. This creates a spacious chamber of receptivity, as deep within we know what is true and what we need to do. The next right action will always be revealed when we are open to receiving. Planning long term may prove futile in this new landscape. We must flow and adapt and know that we will always be supported. Rebel against fear. Acknowledge when the head and heart are in conflict. The mind will learn how to follow the wisdom of the heart. In this period of adjustment, we will learn how to live without much foresight, creating a deeper level of embodiment and presence. And here, Spirit reminds me of those who live without homes and who live without knowing where their food or where their sustenance is going to come from day to day. Often those people are very close to God in their own way because they have learned how to live without much foresight. And that has allowed them to trust in a greater level of support than someone who's getting up and working a 9 to 5 that they know is going to pay them, their monthly bills. So just know, Spirit says that in this period of adjustment, we'll learn how to live without much foresight, and it will create a deeper level of embodiment and presence within us. This allows for an abundance of energy, which is available to us in this present moment. And we do not have to know how to reach our destination. In fact, we may know less about it than we ever have. And this was a very important statement, that we may know less about our destination than we ever have, and that is a good thing. This confusion is an illusion. We are, in fact, shifting forms from mind-led to heart-centered. We are not proceeding in error. We are exactly where we are meant to be. This position is more powerful than ever. Affairs are aligning with love, and all is unfolding according to the greater divine plan. We cannot miss what is meant for us.